Hi guys, long time no see, but now see now. So ngayon, as you can see sa title, and I do apologize na matagal ako hindi nakagawa ng video kasi ilang weeks pong pause yung boses ko. Hindi ko alam kung ano nangyari. Feeling ko sa sa pagsigaw-sigaw ko sa dagat nung mga nakaraang months. So ngayon, as you can see sa title, ibubunyag natin ang isa sa mga sekreto ng mga religious organization. Atin lang to. So, stay tuned. Okay. So, ngayong araw na to, dahil andito lang naman tayo sa kanya-kanya ating mga bahay, ganon, manonood tayo ng mga videos. Yan. These videos will help us to wake up, para magising tayo sa katotohanan, para hindi tayo maging bulag sa kung ano talaga yung mga nangyayari sa paligid. Religion is one of the most controversial, hindi naman most, pero isa yun sa mga sensitive topics na hindi pwede i-tackle, lalong-lalo na pag nasa loob ng office, ganyan. I think tatlong subject yun, topics yun: religion, politics, at saka ano pa yung isa, I forgot. Basta yung dalawang yan, hindi talaga siya pwede kasi siya, yung parang hindi masyado lahat ng tao magkakaintindihan sa dalawang topics na yun. Anyway, so ano nga ba yung mga sikreto ng mga religion? Sino yung may gawa ng religion? Saan galing yung religion? And bakit iba-iba yung religion ng mga tao? Okay. So I will let you see a website, or I will let you see a screenshot na nagpapatunay ng evidence kung sino yung may-ari ng mga global churches all over the world at yung mga hawak nilang mga religion. Ganon. So if you haven't already, please click the like, share, subscribe, and hit that bell notification icon para ma-notify kayo sa mga sikreto na maibubunyag. Charot. Okay, so from that screenshot, makikita niyo yung title ng book, and it also has a PDF format. Actually, first ko nakita yung book na yon sa website ng CIA.gov. Ang title ng book is Bloodlines of the Illuminati by Fritz Springmeier. This was published 1995. So I am now reading the PDF kasi super haba siya. I'm just going to read like some information about the churches dito sa PDF na to kasi ang sobrang haba nito. So ito, I'm going to, kasi baka sabihin nyo gawa-gawa ako ng story. Hindi po. You can go to the CIA.gov and download the PDF. Ang sabi, most people have bought so much disinformation during their lifetime. Perhaps it's unrealistic to expect them to purge out all the junk they've accepted. Just as people in the world need to toss out their worldly thinking, people in the church need to toss out all the indoctrination they've gotten from the numerous kinds of harlot churches. At the moment, the system is set up so that the perpetrators and of the mind control are in control of the credentialing process, so that they can provide their stooges and agents with the best credentials. As the reader can see, the roots of power behind the mind control go deep. Ang liit kasi ng letter eh. Alam niyo naman ako, malabo yung mata ko. Ang liit ng letter. Sobrang ang hirap hanapin ng mga words. Ayan, ang sabi, Clement Stone in turn is also a Mason, a member of the occult, American Society of Churches was financed to a large extent by Rockefeller money. Maraming taong nakakilala sa Rockefeller, parang karanggo nila yung Rothschild, sila mga sila, mga trillionaires. Hindi sila listed sa Forbes kasi ang listed lang sa Forbes hanggang billionaire lang, hindi na listed yung mga may-ari ng mga oil company, ganun. So was financed to a large extent by Rockefeller money. So huwag po tayong maniwala agad-agad kung ano yung mga sinasabi ng mga church, ganyan. Kasi, hindi natin, paano ba sila nagsimula? Sino ba ang nag-finance dito? Sino ba yung mga handler nila? So sabi, co-masters of the world, power within Christendom. The Rothschilds also wielded much influence and power not only in secret societies but also in Christendom's churches. The Salvation Army, under the suggestion of the Rothschilds, adopted the red shield, shield, for their logo. One history of the Rothschilds remarks, the Rothschilds had rapidly propelled themselves into a position of immense financial power and political influence. Okay. Sorting out the various identity groups. In contrast, a hodgepodge of groups which are opposed to the conspiracy, like some neo-Nazi groups and various churches unrelated with them, are also believers in British Israelism. These various groups are sometimes all lumped together as the identity movement, which is misleading because of their vast differences. It is important to differentiate between those groups that are trying to approach things from a Christian perspective and place themselves under the authority of God, and those who are setting themselves up under the New World Order's authority or under their own authority. So, sa panahon ngayon, wala nang totoong church. Yun. Shortcut ko lang. Meron pang isa. So sabi, disinformation to make their double agents look good. An example of a double agent who is popular among Christians is an Illuminati witch named Gretchen Pasantino, who tours around to Christian conferences belittling the idea of mind control. Dr. 𝓿𝓲𝓽 reports in the Spiritual and Clinical Dimensions of MPD that 74% of women abused by SRA come from Christian homes. The Christian churches are heavily infiltrated. Di ba ang taray? So, ibig sabihin nun, merong ibang mga religious groups or religious organization na they pose as religious sector, pero wherein in fact, mga agents pala sila mga agents pala sila ng pang-brainwash. Diba? Kasi may nagsusponsor sa kanila. Ganun yun. Yun yung meaning dun sa binasa kong pagkahaba-haba. Hindi natin alam yung church na pinapasukan natin, ano pala yun, yung part pala yun ng indoctrination process nitong mga rich families na to, na which are trillionaires like the Rothschild, Rockefeller, ganon. So, wag po tayo basta-basta magpaniwala. Kailangan po natin magsaliksik, mag-research, ganon. Kasi, and everything, by the way, everything is connected. So, hindi mo pwede sabihin, ano man yan, ganyan, nonsense, ganyan. Or sasabihin natin na, baka hindi totoo yung sasabi niya, or baka binayaran siya para siraan yung ganon-ganon. Meron po tayong sariling mga utak. Okay? Binigyan tayo ng Diyos, binigyan tayo ng prime creator ng utak para gamitin to. So, wag po tayo basta-basta magpapaniwala. Kailangan muna natin, totoo ba to, ganyan. I-research muna natin. Huwag muna tayong basta-bastang yun. So, mapunta naman tayo sa mga pastor. Okay. Ayan na. Punta na tayo sa mga pastor. Merong ibang mga pastor na nag-seminar sila abroad para mag-aral ng hypnotism. Diba? Lahat ng bagay napapag-aralan eh. Like, hypnotism, may white hat, hypnotism, may black hat, hypnotism. So, yung hypnotism, ginagamit yan. Yung white hat hypnotism, ginagamit yan panggamot sa may mga mental disorder, ganun. At saka pero yung black hat kasi, parang underground siya. Merong iba, ginagamit to pang brainwash. Lalong-lalo na sa loob ng simbahan, ganun. Have you ever, like, na-experience nyo na ba yung, kunwari, yung na-possess, ganyan, kunyari, na-possess, tapos, i-exercise daw siya, ganun. Tapos, syempre, or yung mga church member, parang, ililay hands na ganun, and then, kunwari, gumaling sila, ganyan. Totoo naman na gumaling talaga, ganun. Kasi may dalawang bagay po yun. May dalawang subject. Subject ba yung tawag doon? Basta, may dalawang kategory. Yung first, yung una, yung tinatawag na placebo effect. So, yung placebo effect, kunwari, meron kang cancer. Yan. Tapos, sasabihin ko sa'yo, itong gamot na to, meron to lahat, ganyan. Meron tong A to Z, according sa mga scientists, tapos mga researcher, ganyan. Ibibigay ko sa'yo ng discounted price, pero actually mahal to. And then, tinake mo yung gamot na yon. Of course, dahil gumastos ka ng pera, naniwala ka sa gamot. Ganon. Tinik mo yung gamot consistently and religiously. Ganon. Tapos, nung tinik mo siya, gumaling ka. Totoo talaga gumaling ka. Ang tawag po doon, placebo effect. Kasi naniwala ka doon sa gamot. Way back, mga like 100 years ago, nag-experiment yung mga scientists na yung sugar pill, konting sugar lang, tapos nilagay nila ginawa nilang tablet, ganun, tapos nilabel nila na ito nakakagaling to, ganyan, etc. Ang nag-take, gumaling. Kasi, yung paniniwala nila yung nagpagaling sa kanila. Na which is totoo. So, kasi yung brain natin, nagre-release yan ng mga iba-ibang hormones, sa serotonin, ganyan, endorphins, ganon. So, totoo naman na nakakagaling talaga yung faith, yung paniniwala sa sarili. But that is just a singular person, ikaw lang. But how about pag madami? Pag maraming naniwala, like, bigyan ko kayo ng example. Sa Japan, merong mga scientist, ibahin na lang natin. Sa Japan, may mga monk, mga Buddhist monk na prinay over nila, parang nag-meditate sila, prinay over nila yung lake, na polluted na lake, na for how many days na maging malinis. Wala silang ginawa, hindi sila kumilos, hindi nila nilinisan yung lake, ganyan, yung polluted na lake. After ilang days, luminis yung lake. So, dahil marami sila, hindi lang isang person, iba na ang tawag doon. It's called Maharishi Effect. Yun. Maharishi Effect. Tapos, sasabihin naman nila, ay, wala, conspiracy theory yan. Ang nagpauso po ng word na conspiracy theory ay ang CIA. Okay? Sila yung number one na nambe-brainwash ng mga tao for their experiments. And sila yung nag-coin ng word na conspiracy theory. Okay, so baka sabihin nyo na naman, wala akong mga reference sa pinagsasabi ko. I will let you see a video about placebo effect. Kung ano yung history, yung current, past, present, future. Okay? So, grab a popcorn and see a movie. Char, hindi siya movie, ano siya, parang documentary lang siya, a short documentary.
In 1996, 56 volunteers took part in a study to test a new painkiller called 𝓜𝓸𝓽. On each subject, one index finger was covered in the new painkiller, while the other remained untouched. Then, both were squeezed in painful clamps. The subjects reported that the treated finger hurt less than the untreated one. This shouldn't be surprising, except 𝓜𝓸𝓽 wasn't actually a painkiller, just a fake concoction with no pain-easing properties at all. What made the students so sure this dummy drug had worked? The answer lies in the placebo effect, an unexplained phenomenon wherein drugs, treatments, and therapies that aren't supposed to have an effect and are often fake miraculously make people feel better. Doctors have used the term placebo since the 1700s, when they realized the power of fake drugs to improve people's symptoms. These were administered when proper drugs weren't available, or if someone imagined they were ill. In fact, the word placebo means "I shall please" in Latin, hinting at a history of placating troubled patients. Placebos had to mimic the real treatments in order to be convincing, so they took the form of sugar pills, water-filled injections, and even sham surgeries. Soon, doctors realized that duping people in this way had another use: in clinical trials. By the 1950s, researchers were using placebos as a standard tool to test new treatments. To evaluate a new drug, for instance, half the patients in a trial might receive the real pill. The other half would get a placebo that looked the same. Since patients wouldn't know whether they'd received the real thing or a dud, the results wouldn't be biased, researchers believed. Then, if the new drug showed a significant benefit compared to the placebo, it was proved effective. Nowadays, it's less common to use placebos this way because of ethical concerns. If it's possible to compare a new drug against an older version or another existing drug, that's preferable to simply giving someone no treatment at all, especially if they have a serious ailment. In these cases, placebos are often used as a control to fine-tune the trial, so that the effects of the new versus the old or alternative drug can be precisely compared. But of course, we know that placebos exert their own influence too. Thanks to the placebo effect, patients have experienced relief from a range of ailments, including heart problems, asthma, and severe pain, even though all they'd received was a fake drug or sham surgery. We're still trying to understand how. Some believe that instead of being real, the placebo effect is merely confused with other factors, like patients trying to please doctors by falsely reporting improvements. On the other hand, researchers think that if a person believes a fake treatment is real, their expectations of recovery actually do trigger physiological factors that improve their symptoms. Placebos seem to be capable of causing measurable change in blood pressure, heart rate, and the release of pain-reducing chemicals like endorphins. That explains why subjects in pain studies often say placebos ease their discomfort. Placebos may even reduce levels of stress hormones like adrenaline, which can slow the harmful effects of an ailment. So shouldn't we celebrate the placebo's bizarre benefits? Not necessarily. If somebody believes a fake treatment has cured them, they may miss out on drugs or therapies that are proven to work. Plus, the positive effects may fade over time, and often do. Placebos also cloud clinical results, making scientists even more motivated to discover how they wield such power over us. Despite everything we know about the human body, there are still some strange and enduring mysteries, like the placebo effect. So what other undiscovered marvels might we contain? It's easy to investigate the world around us and forget that one of its most fascinating subjects lies right behind our eyes.
Yan, kamusta naman ang panonood? So, anyway. So, yun yung past, present, future ng all about placebo effect. Yun. So, mapunta naman tayo sa very, very hot topic. Yung about kay Quiboloy. Ayun, dyan na tayo, napunta na tayo dyan. So, paano sinut down ni Quiboloy yung traffic? Ano nangyari? Bakit parang nahinto yung earthquake, nahinto yung traffic, pati yung probinsyano nahinto. Pati yung, di ba sabi pa nga niya, may papakita akong video. Ito, sabi niya dito sa video, yung parang pinatch up lang siya na mash up between Quiboloy and Vice Ganda. Ang sabi, ilang months mo, sabi niya, parang nayayabangan si Vice Ganda, sabi, sige nga, ipahinto mo yung probinsyano, ganon, parang gumanon si Vice Ganda. Tapos, ang sabi naman nito ni Quiboloy, ang sabi naman niya, ilang months mo ba gusto ipahinto? 1 buwan, 2 buwan, 3 buwan? O baka hindi yung probinsyano, baka hindi lang probinsyano yung huminto, parang ganon. Sabi. So, parang it's a clue, ganon. Anyway, now which is, yun yung nangyari ngayon. Hindi lang pati yung probinsyano yung nahinto, pati yung buong network yung nahinto.
Bakit naman dumating tayo dyan? Para lindol lang yung pinistop kung sinabi mo, pahintuin ang traffic sa EDSA. Paano kung pahihintuin? Nahinto na.
Ay, sa bagay, no? Inahamon kita, Quiboloy, pahinto mo nga ang probinsyano.
Kailan mo ba gustong mapa-stop ang probinsyano? Ikaw, magpili ka. Kailan mo gustong i-stop? 1 buwan, 2 buwan, 3 buwan, 4 na buwan? Ikaw, pili ka.
Napakayabang nyo pala.
So, hindi kita hahatulan. Hihintayin ko na lang kung ano ang kalalabasan ng challenge mo.
Inahamon kita, Quiboloy, pahinto mo nga ang probinsyano. Napahinto mo pala ang lindol eh. Apakayabang nyo pala. Apakayabang nyo pala. Apakayabang nyo pala.
Para lindol lang yung pinistop ko, dumating pa yung challenge na ipa-stop ko daw yung probinsyano o kaya yung sa EDSA. Kailan mo ba gustong mapa-stop ang probinsyano? Ikaw, magpili ka. Kailan mo gustong i-stop? 1 buwan, 2 buwan, 3 buwan, 4 na buwan? Ikaw, pili ka. Baka sa 4 na buwan, hindi lang yung probinsyanong may stop. Baka pati yung network mo, stop na yan. Baka pati yung network mo, stop na yan. Baka pati yung network mo, stop na yan.
This is ABS-CBN Corporation, Channel 2, in the service of the Filipino. Now signing off.
So, bakit ganun? Parang si Quiboloy, para bang may power yung mga words niya na pag sinabi niya parang nangyayari talaga ganun. May secret dyan. I'll tell you a secret. Pag matanda ka na, pag ninuno ka na, marami ka talagang alam. Charot. So, as I was saying, di ba pag single lang, singular, or ikaw lang yung naniniwala, placebo effect. Pag maraming naniwala, Maharishi Effect. Ganon. So, binigyan ko kayo ng example dun sa mga Buddhist monks na nag-pray sila, nag-meditate sila dun sa polluted na lake, na ganon. Meron pang isang Japanese scientist. His name is Dr. Masaru Emoto. Nagsulat siya ng book. Ang title ng book is Memories of Water. So, itong scientist na to, nag-experiment siya 3 beakers of water 3 beakers of water, say equal amounts of water, equal amounts of rice. And then, sinabi niya sa isang beaker, first beaker, sabi niya, you're stupid, you're ganito, ganyan. You're useless. Tapos sa second beaker, sabi naman niya, thank you, puro words of gratitude. Ayan. Tapos sa third beaker naman, inignore niya. So wala siyang ginawa. Ganyan. For how many days? Like siguro for mga 1 week. And every day niya to ginagawa, every morning. Nagsasabi siya ng words doon sa beaker. Okay. So after 1 week, yung first na beaker, na with equal amounts of water and rice, ganun, is parang nag-molds, umitim, ganun. Yung second beaker na sinasabihan niya, thank you, ganyan, words of gratitude, positive words, ganyan. Nagkaroon siya ng parang pungent smell, para siyang suka. Alam mo yung suka, yung process ng suka, paggawa ng suka, para siyang naging, nag-ferment siya, yun. Tapos yung third beaker na parang inignore niya lang, ganyan, is napanis. So, ganun. So itong scientist na to, na-prove niya na may power yung words. Ang next na ginawa niya, finlash freeze niya yung mga nasa mga tube, sa mga glass tube na water. It's just a plain water, pero finlash freeze niya. Nilagyan niya ng label yung mga test tube. So, may mga label, Hitler, ganyan, tapos finlash freeze niya, tapos may thank you, tapos ginawa niya rin yun sa music, sa iba-ibang music, like Mozart, ganyan. Under the microscope, makikita mo na iba-iba yung crystallization ng mga molecules, ng mga ice crystals. Yung sa Hitler, para siyang sabog, tapos yung sa Mozart, yung mga classical music, ang gaganda ng mga formation ng mga ice crystals niya. So it's just proof that science and spirituality goes hand in hand. Kasi spirituality is a higher form of science. Science din siya. Kaso lang wala pa tayong proper equipment, technology na parang ma-figure out kung ano ba talaga. Ayan. So, yung Maharishi Effect, okay? Bigyan ko kayo ng example. Alam niyo yung poong Nazareno? Yung ilang billion Catholics all over the world. 3 billion Catholics. Ngayon, yung poong Nazareno, di ba gumagalaw yan, ganyan. Sabi nila lumalaki daw, ganun. Ilang billion yung naniniwala na, oo, gumagalaw yung poong Nazareno, ganyan. May mga miraculous, may mga miraculous events, tapos may mga miracles din na nangyari, may mga pangarap na natupad dahil sa poong Nazareno. Yan po ay Maharishi Effect, kasi maraming naniniwala. So, kagaya nung lake sa Japan na wala naman silang ginawa, hindi naman nila nilinisan, kusang luminis, is because marami yung mga mongha, mga monk na nag-meditate para luminis yung lake. Ang tawag po dyan, mental power. So itong mind natin, itong brain natin, may yung thoughts kasi natin, nagta-travel yan sa hangin. Science po itong sinasabi ko, hindi po to magic. Yung thoughts natin, di ba, kakain tayo. Pag kumain tayo, yung pagkain natin, nako-convert siya into calories. Yung calories yan is energy. Yan yung nagpa-power ng mga electrical impulse na sa brain natin, nagpa-fire ng mga signal para gumalaw yung mga muscle natin. Hindi lang muscle natin yung napapagalaw ng brain. Yung thoughts natin, nagsisend ng very minute electrical impulse sa hangin. So, pag inisip natin, okay, Pag naniwala talaga tayong matutupad yung mga pangarap natin, ilang years matutupad yan. Kasi parati natin siyang iniisip. So, kung ano yung parati nating iniisip, nangyayari yon. So, pag parati natin iniisip, okay, parati natin iisipin, ay, namatay siya, ganyan-ganyan. Na-aksidente siya. Tapos maraming tao magsasabi, ay, feeling ko talaga ganun ang mangyayari kasi napakatanga niyang tao. Mangyayari yon kasi mas maraming tao yung naniwala na para bang, kumbaga, in shortcut, para siyang blessing and curse. You can bless a person using your thoughts and your words. You can also curse a person using your words and your thoughts. Ganyan yung nangyari kay Quiboloy. Ngayon, hindi natin alam kung si Quiboloy nag-aral siya ng hypnotism sa abroad kasi may kilala akong ibang mga pastor sa Davao. Ganon, nag-aral sila ng hypnotism abroad. Ginagamit nila sa mga yung mga exorcism sessions nila. Ganyan, para sa mga kunwari na-possess daw ng mga ng mga tao. So, yung nangyari, ilan ba ang followers ni Quiboloy? Hindi lang naman 1,000 yung followers niya, marami naman siyang followers. So, tawa-tawa lang sila nung una. Hinamon ni Vice Ganda na ipahinto ang traffic sa EDSA. Di ba wala ng traffic kasi nagka-COVID nga. O sabihin na natin, ay, nagkataon lang naman yon, ganun-ganun. Ilang beses ba na ang coincidence? 1, 2 beses. 3, 4 na beses hindi na coincidence yon. Iba na yon. So, ibig sabihin nun, Maharishi Effect yon. So, yung Maharishi Effect, pwede rin natin siyang i-apply sa mga lugar. Bigyan ko kayo ng example. Tondo. Bakit ganun mag-isip yung mga tao sa Tondo? Majority ng mga tao na nakatira sa Tondo, kung ano yung parati nilang iniisip, yun yung nagkikreate ng environment doon sa lugar na yon. And sasabi ko majority, hindi ko sasabing lahat. Ngayon, pumunta ka doon sa mga BGC, ganyan, Taguig. Like ako, nakatira ako sa Taguig. Or BGC, pumunta ka sa BGC, maraming mayayaman nakatira. Siyempre, mostly naman tao dyan, business-minded. 'Di ba? So, kung ikaw, like for example, hindi umuunlad yung buhay mo, ganyan-ganyan, lahat na ginawa mo, try mo na lumipat ng ibang lugar. Lumipat ka doon sa lugar ng mga mayayaman. Paano sila mag-isip? Ganun. Mahahawa ka sa kanila kasi yun yung environment mo. Kasi yung mostly ng mga nakatira doon, ganun yung mentality nila, yung way of thinking nila. Ganun yun. So, yun yung Maharishi Effect. So, kunwari, ilan ba yung tao sa buong mundo? 7 billion yata, ganun. So, yung 7 billion na tao, sabay-sabay nila, isipin nila, okay, Earth Hour. Iisipin natin, luminis yung Earth. Naging maayos yung Earth, ganyan. Natural mangyayari yun. Kasi yung mga mental powers natin, actually, humans are born powerful. Powerful tayong lahat. Yung mga, itong brain natin, bigyan ko kayo ng example. 90% ng physical na mga material, na mga object na nakikita nyo is a human construct. Lahat ng mga nakikita mo. Itong table or itong phone, kung saan kayo nanonood, kung yung computer, 5 years ago, 10 years ago, nasan ba yan? Di ba ngayon, nahahawakan mo siya? Pero 5 years ago, 10 years ago, nasaan yan? Siyempre, dinisign muna yan. Dinisign muna siya. Bago siya naging physical, dinisign mo na siya. Siyempre, inisip mo na siya. So, saan siya nagsimula? Ibig sabihin nun, nagsimula siya sa isip. Bago siya naging physical. Bago siya nag-manifest. So, lahat ng bagay na makikita mo sa mundo, bago siya ginawa yan. Bago siya ginawa, dinisign mo na siya. Bago siya dinisign, na-conceive mo na siya or nagsimula mo na siya sa isip ng mga tao. So itong isip ng mga tao, this is very, very powerful. Take note. So kung ikaw lang mag-isa, nag-isip ka, sinabi mo sa sarili mo, balang araw magiging kagaya ni Manny Pacquiao, balang araw matutupad ko rin yung mga pangarap ko, balang araw makakaahon din ako sa hirap, yayaman din ako, ganun. And everyday niya to iniisip, parang declaration niya sa sarili niya, everyday niya iniisip. And ayan, nangyari sa kanya ngayon, ganyan. So kung everyday iisipin mo, ay, hanggang dito na lang ako, or sasabihin mo everyday sa sarili mo, puro negative, ganyan. So, ano mangyayari? It's the same thing kung positive yung iniisip mo parate. Pero ikaw lang mag-isa noon, nag-isip ng ganun. How about pag marami kayo? How about pag lahat ng followers ni, kunyari, balik tayo kay Quiboloy. How about pag maraming followers niya yung naniwala na, oo, lahat ng words niya may power. Oo, lahat ng words niya. Hindi natin alam, yung mga ibang members niya baka na-hypnotize or what. Or hindi naman tayo pwede mag-judge ng ganun kasi sabi nga nila kusang loob daw yung pagpasok nila dun sa religion nila. Oh, but what if, ilan yung followers ni Quiboloy maniniwala na, oo, masya-shutdown yung, titigil yung probinsyano, masya-shutdown yung ABS-CBN, mangyayari talaga yun. Ang dami niyang followers eh. Diba? Yun yung Maharishi Effect. So, pag maraming tao, sinabi nila, gagaling ka sa cancer, matutunaw yung mga tumor mo dyan sa katawan. Ganyan. Mangyayari yun kasi maraming tao yung naniniwala. Yung mga mental power nila, parang nag-concentrate, gumanon, yung mga energy nila, sumanib sa'yo, parang ganun. Ganun yung nangyari, kaya na-stop yung traffic, na-stop yung, ano pa bang na-stop. So, pag lahat ng tao, maniniwala din na, mawawala yung COVID-19 na virus, bigla na lang siyang mawawala, matutunaw, disappear. 7 billion, or let's say 7 billion people will believe, okay, the COVID-19 will disappear using only their mental power. It will happen because our minds are powerful. Ganun yun. It's called the Maharishi Effect. I-research nyo po yan kasi baka sabihin nyo, yung tumbak lang to, gawa-gawa ng istorya, ganyan. Wag nyo po akong paniwalaan. Lahat ng sinasabi ko, i-research nyo yan. We are living in a digital age. Okay? Lahat ng bagay na pwede nyo i-research. Nakapag-TikTok nga tayo eh. Diba? Lahat ng bagay na pwede natin i-research, nare-research natin yan online. It's available. Every knowledge is available online. All you have to do, ayan, type ka dyan, research ka dyan. Be careful, may mga fake news. So, i-research mo rin saan. I-research mo rin saan yung, sino ba nag-publish nito? Ano bang credentials niya? Anong background niya? Ganon. Tapos i-cross-reference mo. Ang ibig po sabihin ng cross-reference, kunwari, sinabi ng website na to, yung ano daw, galing daw dito, ganyan. Maghanap ka ng ibang reference, maghanap ka ng maraming reference, pag dugtong-dugtong mo, kung nag-connect, ang tawag doon, totoo yun. Ang tawag doon, cross-reference. So, ganun po nag-work. So, I let you watch a video about the Maharishi Effect.
Hello and welcome again to Afterlife Topics and Metaphysics. Cyrus here, once again talking about complex, supernatural, paranormal, spiritual subjects that some people like. Affects everybody, so there's a good reason to be interested in these things. No one gets out of here alive, as Morrison said, so we may as well figure out what happens next. So in this video, I'm talking about the Maharishi Effect. This is a couple. I'm going to basically do a couple slides from a much bigger presentation I did for the students at Afterlife University. So I'm going to kind of condense that down a little bit and introduce the subject to people because it's really interesting and not everybody knows about this. So it's like one more red pill to swallow, I guess. Before we begin though, real quick, a couple notes. One, I'm sorry if my screen is covering part of the slides. I don't really have room to format these for this kind of presentation. What I might be able to do though is move my box a little bit or shrink it down until I'm just a little tiny guy like that. And then you'll be able to see most of the slides. So, oh yeah, and the second thing, if you're new around here, please hit the subscribe button to keep the channel going. It really helps support the work by subscribing and hitting the notification bell, maybe sharing the video. These things help the YouTube algorithm recognize that people are watching this, which will make them, or it will allow for them to recommend the content to other YouTube users, or else the only people watching this are just the people from the Afterlife Topics forum, and you know, it kind of sucks because then the channel's not growing, so I need your help with that. So the Maharishi Effect. The Maharishi Effect is very important because we've seen this demonstrated in multiple ways, not just by what was pioneered by Maharishi Mahesh Yogi in the 70s. The Maharishi Effect can potentially happen in a neighborhood, it can happen globally, it can happen between two people. What it is focused meditation and attention on a situation to fix the situation. And you know, there's been multiple experiments about this, and it's one of those things where if you look at the evidence, it's difficult to relate this to coincidences. It's just like other paratopics, like you go into levels of just statistical absurdity to try to believe that these things are not, there's no correlation between the actions of the meditating and the statistical changes. So in the 1970s, Maharishi Mahesh Yogi spearheaded a movement where the square root of 1% of each of a country's population would meditate. For example, to have an effective result, the square root of 1% of people in the USA is 1,600 people. And this was how many people Maharishi Mahesh Yogi theorized would be needed to cause a big effect. After applying a specific transcendental meditation protocols, they began a long-term analyses of crime levels and other effects. So as an example, after a Maharishi Effect mass meditation, like the one you see on the left, where there are all these people holding candles, we saw the crime rate in Delhi, India decreased by 11%. And so the basically it's like the Maharishi Yogi Institute, I guess, that conducted the analyses. They're pretty rigorous in their scientific protocols, but I also recognize the criticism that, hey, it's, you know, it's the people doing it who are the jurors, that's not a very objective way to approach the situation. But I mean, it's one of these things where, like, when you're doing this kind of stuff, no one else is going to fund you, no one else is going to do the research. So I mean, so their own institute completed the research, but I mean, they're pretty thorough if you read their papers. So like in Delhi, detained analysis by an Indian police official showed that there were no changes in local police policy, no special drives on crime, no systematic transfer of police staff, and no apparent change in the number of criminals through externment or court clearances to account for the 11% decrease. I'd like to believe that if they did have these issues, they wouldn't even report on the experiment. They would have said it was a failed experiment, but I don't know. And so they also did one in Metro Manila that resulted in a 12% decrease. The biggest Maharishi experiment in the USA related to, 24 different cities, with 1% of the population practicing the TM protocols. This was done in 1972. And it was the experimental data was compared to 24 very similar control cities. The result was a bit curious because they saw that a decrease in, well, rather there was a increase in oh wait, oh I'm sorry, yeah, that's the next slide. There was a significant decrease in crime rate in the 24 cities of 24%. They said that this study demonstrated that the Maharishi effect has an immediate effect on crime. And the question in my mind would be, how long does this effect last? Everybody's meditating, and this causes fewer people to want to kill each other. Like, it globally raises the consciousness levels. But does that go away the next day? Well, according to the US study, the effects last like 6 years. So more recently, well, there was a big effect experiment that happened to find peace in Lebanon. So there was 7,000 participants seeking peace in Lebanon through meditation, and allegedly resulted in a 72% drop in crime. Now, critics say Lebanon was about to peacefully resolve the conflict anyway, so of course, it dropped. But then the flip side could be that the reason the war in Lebanon was resolved was because of the meditators. In 2008, we saw the peace intention experiments begin. This was by, what was her name again? Lynn McTaggart. Lynn McTaggart wanted to fix some issues she saw with the Maharishi experiments, which was that the Maharishi experiments were very much coming from the Eastern Buddhist frame of mind, where thoughts are bad. And it's one of various things I disagree with about Eastern religion or East Buddhism, because I don't think thoughts are bad. I think bad thoughts are bad, and I think loving thoughts are creative and much more effective than having no thoughts, being a blank slate. And so this is, one thing I don't agree with about Buddhism so much, in the way that they meditate. So McTaggart attempted a different approach by using focused intention. So instead of trying to have no thoughts at all, what if you switch it up so you actually are thinking and you're focusing enormous positive energy and thoughts on a specific goal? So the peace intention experiments were focused upon, there was a smaller group of meditators, but using this focused intention protocol on the most dangerous neighborhood or area in America, which was in St. Louis, of course. And after extensive analysis of the area and predicted crime trends, Lynn McTaggart's team alleges that while oddly the property crime increased by 7%, but their focus was on violent crime, which decreased by a whopping 42%. So it's almost like the vibration was raised so much that the people who would have normally committed violent crime, like they didn't feel like the ability to do it because of an unseen energy that was shaping their behavior. And so some of them were like, you know what, I'm just gonna go break into someone's house or steal some lawn ornaments or whatever it is, but they're breaking into somebody's car, instead of actually going out and hurting somebody. So it's interesting. It's like the decision-making process of the criminals changed. But that's a huge. That basically would have meant that going from the #1 most dangerous neighborhood in the country, like decreasing that by 42%, would probably take it off the list entirely. McTaggart claims the experimenters all had high likelihood of positive things happening to themselves as well. So she chronicled the mirror effect, where the individual meditators, all this positive stuff began happening to them. Estranged family members getting back in touch, good fortune, like all of this was being generated through the experiment. And so I'll skip this slide. Let's go ahead and touch on this. So there's a kind of new agey complex interpretation by the yogis involving quantum unified fields of unlimited intelligence, yada yada. But there's another theory which I lean toward, has to do with multiple universes. So it's the theory, and this is actually embraced by the mainstream normie scientism advocates like the Neil Tysons, who believe in the multiverse, which is that our own thoughts are breaking down different universes and creating different universes, and then we're navigating through that. So when you have a positive intention, it's collapsing the negative universe possibilities and aligning us toward a specific outcome we want. So we're like driving a ship through the multiverse, and if everyone's intention is on a specific positive outcome, it's going to collapse all of the other possibilities until we reach that positive outcome. So if there's a universe where somebody decides to become a criminal and hold up a liquor store and shoot the employee, and then there's a universe where that criminal decides not to do that, and that criminal is like teetering between these two possibilities, the intent to focus positive intention is going to collapse that negative possibility and instead make into reality the universe where they decide not to do that. So that's one theory, but another theory is just higher vibrations. So just the act of meditating raises people's consciousness, they don't even know it, and they don't feel compelled to do bad things. And this is why the non-focused meditation that the Maharishi Mahesh Yogi was doing was still yielding some results. But what do you think? How can the Maharishi effect change your life? How could this affect somebody who's ill? What if you had 50 people doing focused meditation on an intense level on one person to, I don't know, get rid of a tumor? So that's something to think about. Let me know in comments what you think. And if you like this kind of stuff, again, hit subscribe or check out afterlifetopics.com. You can check out books like Understanding Life After Death, The Afterlife and Beyond, or join the Facebook group or get involved in classes. All that's on afterlifetopics.com. As a final note, you might be wondering, where the heck am I now? So behind me is a new apartment, a new Airbnb here in Jakarta, Indonesia. As you know, I'm mixing up the backgrounds every couple of weeks because I'm moving to different locations. In a couple more weeks, I'll be in, I don't even want to spoil it. You guys will find out once you see the video of where I am in a couple of weeks. So that's going to be exciting. But yeah, behind me is Jakarta, Indonesia, population at about 10 million. Indonesians are such peaceful people. I don't even know if we need Maharishi effect here because, it's a huge, smoggy, dirty, concrete jungle filled with like the nicest, coolest people you'll ever meet. So that's why I like it here, because the vibe is high. Even in a big polluted city, like, you can go out and feel energized because everyone's so sweet and nice, as opposed to Los Angeles where everybody wants to basically stab each other. Enlightened Los Angelites, with all their new age books and doing yoga every day is the really kind of nasty, bad environment, where Jakarta, where the monthly salary of most people is about $300, if even that, is the really peaceful and sort of higher vibe city. So it's something interesting. It's one of the reasons I travel, is I need to get away from certain American cities sometimes and move back to other places. And another thing I find really interesting, I might even do a video about this coming up, is the Islamic call to prayer. And similar to the Maharishi effect, I wonder if that also helps improve the consciousness level in the city, because we get to call to prayer like 3 times a day here in Indonesia, and it's this really beautiful music that plays throughout the city. And I had a girlfriend out here explain to me that it's even the way you meditate or pray when the call to prayer comes out is you focus, you meditate. So it's not just about like hail Allah, it's like meditate on your life and what you're doing, what your purpose is, and all these concepts, and think about it, and then let the music carry your thoughts. So it's actually a very effective meditation, and I've been doing it myself when the calls to prayer begin, and it's really, you really feel like connected to like everybody around you. So it's really neat. I really love the call to prayer. I don't agree with the fundamentalist religious aspects, but I think it works in a city like this where people are not like super, well, they are fundamentalists, but you won't, there's some terrorists out here, for crying out loud, but just average Indonesians, it's a more of a personal thing, and it's not like the hardcore fundamentalism maybe in other places. That's a lot to talk about. I'm going on a tangent. Get me out of here. I'm closing shop. I'll see you guys on the next video.
Okay, so I'm back. Ayan, so yun yung about sa Maharishi Effect. So, pag sinabi mo, okay, madali lang pala lahat ng bagay, ganyan. So, pag mag-create lang tayo ng event, okay, Earth Hour, or kung anong world event ba yan, na magkaisa yung mga tao, ganyan, or ganito lang yung isipin nila sa isang oras, ganyan. May sasabihin po ako sa inyo. Merong 1% ng society na ayaw ng unity. Ayaw nila ng unity kasi gusto nila sa kanila lang yung power. Yung iba sa kanila trillionaire, no, hindi sila listed sa Forbes kasi hindi nga sila billionaire eh. Hanggang billionaire lang naman listed sa Forbes. So, itong mga 1% na trillionaires na to, ayaw nila na malaman ng mga tao to. Gusto nila, sa kanila lang yung power. Gusto nila sila lang yung may alam nitong knowledge na to. So, sila yung mga extremely, parang, kumbaga, kinurap talaga nila yung earth. Kinuha nila lahat ng resources. Nilagyan na lang ng presyo lahat. Kulang na lang pati hangin, may presyo. Ganun. Tapos, sinupress nila yung mga technology na alam nyo ba na ang ginagamit nating technology ngayon is technology pa ng panahon ng mga dinosaur. Ang tagal na ng oil na yan. Dapat mga flying car na yung gamit natin ngayon sa taon na to, na year 2020. Dapat lumilipad na yung mga sasakyan. Ano nangyari? Hindi nila fina-fund yung mga or hindi nila sinusuportahan yung mga mga invention na pwedeng mabago yung pwede umunlad yung majority, yung lahat ng mga tao, na hindi na mag-rely yung mga tao sa pera, hindi na mag-rely yung mga tao sa kuryente, hindi na mag-rely sa oil, sa gasolina, kasi lahat po ng bagay sa mundong ibabaw ay pawang negosyo lamang. Yung oil, yung pera, yung gera. Yung gera, may nagsusupply ng mga armas dyan, yung mga opposing parties, like pag nagigera sila, negosyo yan, para yung laro na, di ba, nanonood ka ng mga competition, ganyan, mga sports competition, yung gera parang sports yan. So ayaw nila na gumising yung mga tao, gusto nila forever na tulog yung mga tao, dito lang kayo, kasi ganyan, wala kaming mga alipores, wala kaming mga alipin. Ganun. So, ayaw nila. Itong knowledge na sinasabi ko, itong mga bagay na sinasabi ko sa inyo, hindi lahat ng tao alam to. But ngayong year 2020, lahat ng tao magigising sa katotohanan. Magigising sila, oh my God, we're all living a lie. All this time, nabuhay tayo sa kasinungalingan na ganito, tapos para bang slave lahat ng tao. Ganun. O, trabaho, bayad, utang, tapos ganun. Tapos may nagko-control sa... Siyempre, kinokontrol naman talaga yung pera, piniprint yung pera, ganyan. Kasi ang tao po, ginawa ang tao. Ito, masakit to na katotohanan, pero totoo to. Lahat ng tao, humans are made for the gold. Ang gumawa po sa mga tao, hindi sila tao. Natural, ang gumawa sa tao, hindi sila tao. Pero, sa ibang video ko na i-explain kung sino sila, saan sila galing, paano nila ginawa yung mga tao, ganun. Sa ibang video ko na yun, tatakel. Pero nakafocus yung video na to, nakafocus to dun sa hot topic ngayon, which is paano na shutdown ni Quiboloy yung mga paano niya na shutdown yung traffic, paano niya napatigil yung probinsyano, napatigil pati yung buong network kasi hinamon siya ni Vice Ganda, ganun. So, kung let's say, iisipin lahat ng 7 billion people in the world, 7 billion tao na, mawawala yung COVID, ganyan, yung COVID-19 na yan, madidissolve yan sa hangin. Hindi po pwede mangyari yun. Kasi yung sakit, negosyo din yan eh. Diba? Years bago lumabas yung na yan, Kasi, di ba sabi ko dun sa previous video ko na matagal nang may coronavirus sa mga paniki, na which is totoo naman, matagal, hindi tayo nahahawa kasi may species barrier. Ngayon, nagkaroon ng cross-species barrier kasi nga, yung sakit pinalakas, dinevelop siya sa level 4 laboratory ng Wuhan Institute of Virology. Okay? Kaya siya na-bypass yung na-bypass yung species barrier kasi mas lumakas yung virus kasi kasi yung sakit na yan, negosyo din yan eh. It's a business. Everything here on Earth 3D is a business. Okay? Lahat, pati na kulang lang, pati yung paghinga mo, business din yan. Pati nga religion, business. Spirituality is business. Nasa Bible yun. Diba? Kung sino man nagbabasa ng Bible dyan, diba may eksena doon na, do you consider Job as my servant? Sabi daw ng Elohim, sabi ng God, do you consider Job as my servant? Sabi niya kay Lucifer. O sabi naman ni Satan, ay kasi kasi binibigay mo sa kanya lahat, ganyan, kaya wino-worship ka niya. Yung worship, galing yan sa Hebrew word. Greek ba yun or Hebrew? It means work for. So you're working for them. You're working for the higher entities. Okay, so negosyo pa din yun. Yan sabi naman ni Satan, ni Lucifer, ano pa ba yung pangalan niya? Marami siyang pangalan. Marduk, ano pa yun? Sabi naman niya, wino-worship ka lang niya kasi binigay mo sa kanya lahat, binless mo siya, ganyan. Anong sabi ng Elohim, ng God, sino pa ba dyan? Marami din siya pangalan. Sabi naman ito, bigyan mo siya ng sakit, gawin mo lahat sa kanya, wag mo lang siyang patayin. Anong tawag sa eksena na yon? Sige nga, kung matalino kayo, kung meron kayong let's say hindi kayo matalino, kung meron kayong logic, wag nyo lagyan naman kung ano-anong interpretation. Logic na lang. Anong tawag sa eksena na yon? Di ba business yon? It's the exchange of, kung hindi mo siya, wag mo siya patayin, gawin mo lahat sa kanya, ganyan. It's business. So, hindi lang sa Earth 3D may business, pati sa heavens, sa impyerno may business dyan. Okay? Sa multiverse, kung saan pa ba dyang, marami kasing Earth, maraming universe, 12 major dimension, nasa Earth 3D tayo. Marami po dyan, marami ka mahanap sa internet na kung sino ba itong mga tao na to, bigla lang lumitaw dito, na record sa camera, ganyan. Bigla galing sila sa ibang lugar, na nawala sila, ganyan. Galing sila sa ibang dimension kasi nga nagkaroon ng mga glitch sa Hindi natin alam kung nakatira tayo sa simulation, sa matrix, kung yan. Basta, ang sinasabi ko po is all is business, including war, yung oil. Kaya hindi umuunlad yung mga humans. Ilang dekada na remain lang tayo, puro gasolina na lang yung ginagamit natin. Lately, nag-emerge yung mga electric cars, hindi lahat ng countries available. Supposedly, dapat lahat ng bahay gumagamit na ng solar. And dapat hindi tayo nagbabayad for the electricity, the water. Dapat everything is free. Dapat meron ng system na ganun ngayon. Pero wala, hindi. May mga towers dyan sa labas. May mga super matataas na tower. May mga makikita kang black na mga device. Parang ganito. Para siyang power bank. Ang tawag dyan, ELF devices, electro low frequency devices. Nag-i-emit yan ng low frequency. Anong purpose? Ikaw na tao, gising ka. Kunyari ako, nagising ako sa katotohanan na ganito, ganyan. Bigla na lang ako magagalit or bigla na lang ako nakakaisip ng mga negative thoughts. Kasi naglo-lower yung frequency ko. Kasi nandyan yung mga devices na yan. Ito, yung mga parang ganito, parang black na power bank. Elf devices, i-research nyo po yan. Elf devices, electro-low frequency, pinapababa niya yung vibration mo. Lalo na pag sa city ka nakatira, bababa yung vibration mo. So, it's important to meditate at saka mag-fasting kayo once a week. Bakit? Yung mga kinakain nyo, mga karne, bigyan ko kayo ng example. Yung mga karne, alam nyo ba na yung mga meat, mga karne, ganyan, bago mo kinain yan, paano ba yan prepare? Diba? Kinata yung karne. Inano yan kinata yung karne, diba? Kinatsyuk, ganyan. So, anong mga emotion yung na-feel nung hayop bago siya kinatay? Siyempre, natakot yung hayop eh. Siyempre, ilang days mo na siyang sineparate dun sa ano. Tapos, siyempre, naririnig nung hayop no, kakatayin natin yan bukas niya. Siyempre, fear. Tapos, nag-struggle siya, nasaktan siya, pain. Tapos, depression, helplessness. Kasi, siyempre, nagpupumiglas yung hayop bago siya katayin. Fear, helplessness, depression, ano pa mga negative emotion na ano nung hayop. Ngayon, kinain mo yung meat. Kaya pala, kasi dati nagtataka ako nung bata ako. Sabi, pray before you eat. Bakit? Pala tanong na talaga ako nung bata ko, bakit kailangan mag-pray before you eat? Ano bang purpose niyan? Ganun. Kailangan mo bilang researcher ako, syempre, ngayon na lang na lumaki ako, kaya pala, kasi may science pala yun. So, eto yung science, in-explain ko na. So, yung mga emotion ng mga hayop na yun, bago siya katayin, napunta sa pagkain mo. And then, hindi ka nag-pray, or hindi ka nag-meditate. Praying is just like blessing your food, diba? Parang, kini-cleanse ko to, ganyan. Kasi, ang daming negative emotion dyan, napunta dyan. Pag hindi mo kin-cleanse niyan, madadownload mo lahat ng mga negative emotion niyan. Madadownload mo sa system mo kasi kinain mo yun. Di ba nga sabi, di ba popular yung cliche na kasabihan na, you are what you eat. Totoo yun. Kasi importante talaga mag-fasting once a week na puro water lang. At saka mag-meditate ka. You connect to the higher source. Kasi, tawag nito, ma-detoxify mo yung system mo doon sa mga all the negative na kinakain mo. Kaya ako minsan, hindi ako kumakain. Minsan, pansit canton lang kinakain ko, or minsan, lugaw, or Quaker oats, ganun. Kasi, pag puro karne, ayan, kaya mostly ng mga mahilig kumain sa karne, pansinin nyo, madami silang sakit, mag-cancer, o kaya high blood, ganyan. Ako, meron akong high blood, pero nawala na siya, hindi ko na tinitake yung maintenance ko ngayon kasi nalaman ko yung secret. Yan, may secret talaga sa lahat ng bagay. So, niresetahan ako ng doctor ng maintenance. Ngayon, hindi ko na siyang tinitake kasi nalaman ko yung secret. Ganon. So, lahat ng bagay may secret. So, to make things easier, okay, lahat ng tao, isipin nila, all is good, ganyan. Ayaw ng 1% yun. Kaya, nag-establish sila ng, eto na, tiyang-tiyaranan, iba-ibang religion. Bakit na-establish yung mga iba-ibang religion? Ayaw nila ng unity yung mga tao eh. Ayaw nila na ma-unite yung mga tao. Gusto nila divided yung mga tao. Iba-iba yung mapaniniwala. Kasi once na united yung mga tao, kaya natin gawin lahat. Gagawa tayo ng palasyo overnight. Kaya. Using our thoughts, our mental capacity, our mental power. Kaya yan. Pero hindi. Kasi na-brainwash na tayo simula. Yung nanay ng papa, ng lolo, ng lola mo, na-brainwash na yan. Ano yung mga brainwashing factors? Bigyan ko kayo ng example. Religion, number 1. Number 2, yung tinatawag na sirit, television. Sinasabi naman nila, ano yung nakaka-brainwash ba yung television? Bakit ba na-invent yung television? Ano ba? Bakit? Ano yung purpose? Bakit may television? Okay, bigyan ko kayo ng example. Nung bata ako, addict ako sa TV. Kaya ngayon, wala akong TV. Kahit ma-afford ko bibili ng TV. Ayaw ko, baka takot ako baka ma-addict ako ulit sa TV. Kasi, once na more than 30 minutes ka nang nakatutok dyan sa television na yan, lahat ng, may mga subliminal message yan sa mga commercial na mapapanaginipan mo, sa masarap kumain ng McDonald's, ganyan. May mga ano yung subliminal messages? Yan yung mga covert, pag sinabing covert, mga tago na mga messages na maliliit, hindi makakapture yan ng conscious mind mo, hindi mo yan makikita, pero nandyan yan. Yung subconscious mind mo, masasagap yan, mapapanaginipan mo yan, ganyan. Para siyang nambe-brainwash. More than 30 minutes na panonood ng TV, lahat ng sinabi dyan, lahat ng emotion dyan, mafe-feel mo, paniniwalaan mo. Kaya nga, television, it tells lies. It tells lies. Pumunta kayo sa patents that, sabihin na naman, ano na namang pinagsasabi nitong bakla na to? Kung ano-ano na lang sinasabi niya. Ayaw niya maniwala. Pumunta kayo sa patents.google.com. Okay, so sinearch ko ulit. Mahirap pala siya i-search pag nandun ka na sa patents.google.com. Mas madali sa i-search pag sa Google search lang. So, television brainwashing patent. So, ito, lalabas. So, syempre, ang i-click mo lang yung patents.google.com, yung nasa first, yung ito. Sabi, nervous system manipulation by electromagnetic fields. Syempre, i-click natin yan. Kasi, baka sabihin nyo, gawa-gawa na naman ako ng ng kwentong imbento, kwentong gagamba, ganon. So, ito yung patent number, US 6506148B2, United States. Ayan na. Ayan, nakita nyo yan. Para sabihin nyo, hindi ako naggawa-gawa ng kwento. Ang title, Nervous System Manipulation by Electromagnetic Fields from Monitors. Basahin ko. Abstract. Physiological effects have been observed in a human subject in response to stimulation of the skin with weak electromagnetic fields that are pulsed with certain frequencies near half Hz or 2.4 Hz, such as to excite a sensory resonance. Many computer monitors and TV tubes, when displaying pulsed images, emit pulsed electromagnetic fields of sufficient amplitudes to cause such excitation. It is therefore possible to manipulate the nervous system of a subject by pulsing images displayed on a nearby computer monitor or TV set. Ayan nakasulat dyan. Mamaya sabihin ninyo, ako lang nagsabi. For the latter, the image pulsing may be embedded in the program material, or it may be overlaid by modulating a video stream, either as an RF signal or as a video signal. The image displayed on a computer monitor may be pulsed effectively by a simple computer program. For certain monitors, pulsed electromagnetic fields capable of exciting sensory resonance in nearby subjects may be generated even as the displayed images are pulsed with subliminal intensity. Meaning hindi mo siya mafe-feel. Sobrang lakas na nung pulse niya pero hindi mo mafe-feel kasi subliminal nga. So yan. Ayan nakasulat dyan. Ayan tignan nyo. Yan. Pang brainwash yung TV. Tsaka tapos sasabihin ninyo, bakit ka, minsan kasi nanonood pa rin ako ng TV pero hindi masyado ganun katagal na kasi alam ko nga yung effect nun. So, yes, nagsa-cellphone ako, nagfi-Facebook, nagti-TikTok, whatever dyan, ganyan. Marunong po ako mag-defend ng sarili ko. Itong, mind ko, para ako nag-create ng shield sa sarili ko na kahit gising ako na tao, kaya kong maglakad dyan na sa mga tulog na tupa. Hindi mo ako marirecognize. Akala mo tulog pa rin ako. Kasi, kumakain pa rin ako ng karne. Nanonood pa rin ako ng TV. Yes, nagsa-social media ako, ganyan, nanonood pa rin ako ng mga news, mga television, ganyan. Kasi binabalance ko lang lahat. Kasi pag sobra, parang mababaliw ka nun eh. Kasi sobra, parang ina-isolate mo yung sarili mo sa society. Nakakabaliw yun. Kailangan i-exercise mo yung power mo. Kasi di ba merong iba like yung mga madre, di ba? Nasa kumbento, yung mga mongha, nasa mga mountain, ina-isolate nila yung sarili nila. Kasi baka mahawa sila sa mga Ako, hindi ako ganon. Gusto ko, na china-challenge ko yung sarili ko na kung gaano diba ka-strong yung mental power, yung mental power ko, gaano na ba ka-strong yung spirituality, ganon. Kasi paano mo malalaman kung gaano ka-strong yung power mo? I'm not talking about the magic power. I'm talking about the like emotional power, the mental power. Kung hindi mo siya i-exercise, 'di ba? So, kahit manonood ako ng TV, kahit magti-TikTok ako buong araw, kahit kumain ako ng karne, alam ko yung mga pang-defense. Kasi may mga hindi lang naman physical yung self-defense eh. May mental defense, emotional defense, spiritual defense, maraming defense. Kailangan nyo po yan malaman. Ganun. So, yun. So, sa mga ibang video ko na itatackle yung mga how to defend yourself emotionally, physically, spiritually, mentally, psychologically, maraming mga ganyan, mga lili, ganun. So, okay, mabalik tayo dun sa nasa na tayo, nawala na tayo. Ayaw ng 1%, kaya gumawa sila ng mga paraan na para hindi magising yung mga tao. Isa dun yung television, yung media, may nagko-control sa media. Ang tawag sa kanila is trilateral commission or yung tinatawag na conglomerate of corporations, mga malalaking corporation. Pag sinabing conglomerate, group of companies, group of corporation, yan yung tinatawag na conglomerate. Ibig sabihin yan, kasi hierarchy yan eh, may nagko-control pa yan. Sa pinakataas yung tinatawag na 1%. Sila yung may mga trillionaire. Yung iba sa kanila parang gusto nila yung power and mga resources sa kanila lang. Ayaw nila na i-distribute to sa majority, sa mga human, sa mga tao. So, kaya nag-establish na ng iba-ibang church. Bawal kayo, dito na church, bawal kayo mag-indoctrinate ng ganito, ito lang yung pwede nyo ituro. Yung mga educational institution din, may nagmamay-ari din dyan. Ito lang yung limited lang yung pwede nyo ituro, ganyan-ganyan. Kahit, for example, sabihin ko, ako, teacher, ganyan. Kaya kong ituro dito sa student, yung 1 year, kaya kong ituro ng 1 month. Hindi pwede kasi paano ko sasahuran? Kailangan ko yan i-segment, kailangan ko yan pahabain, ganyan. Kaya nga sabi ko, bakit ganito yung grade 1 to grade 6 ngayon, grade 12 na. Humaba na ng humaba. And then, anong resulta? Lahat ba ng pag-aralan mo sa school, ma-apply mo ba yan sa trabaho mo? Di ba hindi? It's because 1%. Yun yung punot dulo ng lahat. Kaya hindi magkaisa yung mga tao. 'Di ba yung yung kanta ni Bamboo, yung kanta ni Bamboo, hanggat may tatslok at sila ang nasa tuktok, di matatapos ang it's true. Kasi yung 1%, ayaw talaga nila na magkaisa yung mga tao. Ginugulo talaga nila yung mga tao. Nag-set up sila ng mga 'di ba sa Amerika, ano nga tawag doon yun sa Amerika? Kini-chemtrail yung hangin. May eroplano na 24 hours dyan nag-spray ng chemical sa hangin. Tapos sasabihin nila, ay nagsisiding yun para umulan doon sa maiinit na lugar, nasunog nga sa ibang lugar eh, 'di ba? Yan, ang chemtrail is parang may mga minute particles yan na pag nasinghot mo, ganun pa. Parang pampabrainwash din siya. Ganun. It also lowers your At mas madali mamatay yung mga tao pag ganun. Tapos may mga depression, ganyan. Magtaka ka, bakit ganyan? Ang taas ng rate ng obesity sa Amerika, tsaka depression. Bakit ganun? Tapos ang daming serial killer, ganun. Dahil po yan sa hangin. May ni-spray dyan sa hangin nila. Ganun yan. It's the same with water. May nilagay dyan sa tubig. Kaya, huwag kayo basta-basta uminom ng tap water, yung tubig sa gripo. May nilalagay dyan. Pampaano yan? It calcifies, kasi ganito yan, ang activator ng mental power ng mga tao is the pituitary gland, and is a combination of the pituitary gland and the pineal gland. Ngayon, itong dalawang to, nagpo-produce to nung parang juice, na parang enzyme na yun yung nagpa-power ng mga hormones natin. Nabablock yan kasi kunyari, for example, you're meat eater, tas nagsisigarilyo ka pa, sinisinghot mo pa yung chemtrail rich na mahangin dyan sa labas. Pagkatapos, yung mga polluted na hangin. Tapos, uminom ka pa ng tubig gripo. May chlorine yan. Pag everyday ka umiinom ng, ito yung effect niyan, pag everyday ka umiinom ng tubig gripo, magkakaroon yan ng calcification sa glands mo. So, pag nagkaroon ng calcification yung glands mo, titigas yan. Diba? Na-try nyo na ba na hindi hunugasan yung takore? Yung doon kayo nagpapakulo ng tubig gripo sa takore, tapos hindi nyo siya hinugasan. Diba nagkakaroon ng parang build up sa gilid na matigas? Yun, calcium deposit, mineral deposit, at saka tawag dito, chlorine deposit yan. Yan yung the same deposit na madideposit dyan sa pituitary gland, pineal gland mo. At pag na-block, pag nagkaroon ng calcification yung pituitary gland at pineal gland mo, pag na-block yan, mahirapan ka na, parang yung judgment mo parang clouded na, mahirapan ka ng ma-perceive yung mga bagay-bagay. Ganun yun. Kaya minsan, ang tagal mong magising. Para kang tupap, gising ka pero tulog ka. Ganun. Yung katotohanan na nasa harap mo, hindi mo pa siya makita. Kasi it's because either na brainwash ka, you are a meat eater, you are a heavy smoker, or ako, to be honest I'm an occasional smoker, I also drink, ganyan-ganyan. Kasi sometimes I make people think na I'm one of them. But I know how to defend myself. Kahit even though kumakain ako ng junk foods, kumakain ako ng junk foods. Once a week, nagpa-fasting ako. Hindi lang once a week, twice a week. And I know how to defend myself. So, kasabihin mo, nagmamalinis si bakla kasi, ganyan, hindi, no. Lahat tayo pare-pareho. It just so happen na naunan lang akong nagising. So, kayo, pag in-apply nyo, lahat ng sinasabi ko, pag in-apply nyo to, magigising din kayo. Oh my God, all this time, ito pala yung ginagawa nila. Ganon yun. So, kaya, it's not, hindi madali na sasabihin mo, nag-isip lang ng positive si ganyan. Nag-isip ka lang ng positive, umunlad na yung buhay mo. First and foremost, nakatira tayo sa 3D. Dati yung Earth, 6,000 years ago, yung Earth 4D. Nasa 4th density dimension tayo. Ano ibig sabihin? May part dun sa Bible na yung, sa Genesis, yung ginawa yung Torre ni Babel, yung Tower of Babel. Nagawa lang nila ng ilang araw. Kasi iisa lang yung lingwahe. 6,000 years ago, iisa lang yung language ng mga tao. Nagkaisa sila, gusto namin i-discover yung gumawa sa amin. Ginawa nila yung tower na yun. Days lang nila nagawa kasi united sila, in unity sila, tas isa lang yung language. Ngayon, hindi nila natapos gawin yung tower na yun. Alam niyo kung bakit? Yung mga gumawa sa tao, ayaw nila na pumantay yung mga tao sa kanila. May mga pinababa sila para ibahin yung lingwahe. Kaya nagkaroon ng Chinese. Hindi natapos yung tower kasi may nag-Chinese, may nag-Japanese, may nag-ganyan, may nag-Greek, may nag-Latin, Kaya hindi natapos yung tower. Ngayon, nasa peak na tayo ng civilization kasi halos lahat ng country marunong mag-English. Tapos may internet. So, lahat tayo connected. Andyan na naman. Malapit na naman silang bumalik. Kasi sisirain na naman lahat. Napansin nyo ba yung mga Greek? And then, nung nasa highest peaks na sila ng civilization nila, bigla silang na-wipe out. Tapos, yung mga Mayans, wipe out. Tapos yung mga Aztec, wipe out. Tapos yung mga Egyptian, bigla silang nawawala. Kasi pag nasa pinaka-highest, itong Earth kasi may cleansing period to every 3,600 years. So, kapag na-reach na natin yung point na yon, babalik na naman sila. Kaya parang wina-wipe nila lahat, tas back to zero na naman yung Earth. So, wala talagang end of the world. The only time na magkakaroon ng magugunaw ang mundo pag sumabog yung araw. Ilang million years pa yan sa sabog eh. Pero ang Earth mismo may cleansing period to na parang nag-general cleaning ka ng bahay, ganun. Parang ganun yung Earth na wipe out lahat. So tayo, malapit na natin ma-reach yung pinaka-peak ng civilization natin. Kaya malapit na naman tayo ma-wipe out. May mga ilang agencies, government agencies, and as well as yung mga secret government agencies. Kasi yung CIA, ano lang yan eh. Hindi naman talaga CIA yung pangalan yan eh. Ano lang yan, parang front lang yan nila. Ano lang yan nila sa public. Pero behind the CIA, maraming mga agencies yan. So ganun. Kaya mahirap talaga magkaisa yung mga tao. Kaya yung sinasabi kong Maharishi Effect, medyo parang 50-50. Kasi nandyan kasi yung mga powers eh. Mga principalities, mga powers, nandyan sila. Kinokontrol nila yung society. Kaya medyo hirap ka na ito lang ang sinasabi ko sa'yo. Minsan, mahirap. Parang ano ba yung pinagsasabi ni bakla? Parang nalipasan ba siya ng gutom? O ganun. Kasi mahirap mo ma-absorb. Especially pag hindi ka sanay. Pag first time na marinig mo yung mga ganitong klase na information, sasakit yung brain mo kasi mag-i-expand yung mga neurons mo dyan eh, mga cells mo sa brain, mga brain cells mo dyan, mag-i-expand yan kasi it's a new information that you're learning. Kaya sasakit yung ulo mo, sakit ng ulo ko, ganyan. Nakinig lang ako sa kanya, sumakit yung ulo ko, ganun. Literal yun kasi nag-i-expand yung mga brain cells mo to cater the new information. Ganun yun. Tingnan mo si Miriam Defensor bago siya, di ba? Sumalangit na bago siya pumanaw, ang laki nung capacity, ang laki nung ulo niya. Kasi yung capacity ng brain niya is very big. Ganun yun. Kaya sa future, yung mga humans pag nagising, tignan mo lalaki yung capacity ng brain. Ganun yun. Kaya yun yung point ko is sometimes we need to learn to control our thoughts. Pag-aralan natin na kontrolin minsan yung mga naiisip natin. Ako hindi naman ako perfect eh, nakakaisip ako ng negative, ganyan, ang sarap patayin, nakakabwisit si ganun. Pero behind that, parang okay, go back. Hindi ikaw to, ganun. Hindi ka ganito talaga. Parang kumbaga, gusto mo lang nagpretend ka lang ba na nagpretend lang ako na isa ako sa mga tao na bibwisit din ako ganun, pero hindi ako ganun. Kumbaga para bang okay, tao lang din ako, pero hindi talaga ako ganun. Ano ko lang 'yon. Kumbaga, 'di ba yung mga artista nga magaling silang umacting, ganun. Sometimes, ganun tayo. Kasi, we are defending ourselves na para hindi tayo maabuso ng mga tao. Ganun yun. Kaya minsan, kailangan, marunong tayong umacting, ganun. Ganun yun. Pero sa totoo lang, kailangan i-control natin yung thoughts natin. Kasi our thoughts create our reality. Ganun yun. Tignan mo si Quiboloy, nakokontrol niya yung thoughts niya. Pag sinabi niya, may power yung words niya. Kasi yung thoughts niya, nakokontrol niya yan. He learned to control his thoughts. Kaya pag nagsabi siya, may power yung words niya. Plus, maraming tao naniniwala sa kanya. Ganun. Yung belief kasi, pwede ka naman mag-establish ng sarili mong belief. Yung belief kasi, pag once na na-establish yan, mahirap na yan matibag. Matitibag lang yan kapag nagising, kunyari ako, nakausap ko yung mga follower ni Quiboloy. Sasabihin ko, for example lang, hindi ko naman sinasabi na ito talaga yung situation. For example, alam nyo ba na brainwash lang kayo ng ng leader ninyo na ganito talaga yung nangyayari, ganun. What will happen? Mawawalan siya ng power. Kasi, kumbaga nagising yung mga follower niya, oh my God, ginawa tayong negosyo ni Quiboloy, ganun. 100% guaranteed. Ganun yun. Pero yung belief kasi, importante yan sa tao. Yung belief. Kunyari, ako naniwala ako. Kasi yung inventor ng Tesla na kotse, si Elon Musk. Oh. Nung bata siya, naniwala siya, makakagawa ako ng makakagawa ako ng electric car na pure electric. Ganun. Yan, pero current time, nagawa ni Elon Musk yun. So, meron pa siyang isang nagawa. Gusto niya na mag-vertical lift daw yung, or nare-recycle daw yung mga rocket ship. Nakipag-meeting pa siya doon sa Russia. Kasi, bumili siya ng ballistic missile. Tapos, na-reject pa yung idea niya. So, umalis na lang siya. Hindi naging successful yung yung venture niya doon. Tapos, eto na nga. December, nakalimutan ko kung anong year yun, pero December, exactly 12 midnight, nung na-offeran siya ng NASA ng $1 billion contract, siya yung napili. Kaya ngayon, yung SpaceX is very successful. Nakakapag-launch sila ng rocket, vertical. Tapos vertical lift, vertical na landing. Pero ano lang yun, parang imagination lang yun ni Elon Musk nung bata siya. Ano kasi to si Elon Musk native sa South Africa, and then nag-migrate sila sa Canada, and then from Canada to US. So, US citizen din siya ngayon. So, yun, naging successful naman siya sa niya. Kasi yun yung parati niya iniisip ng bata siya na, tsaka sobrang talino din nun. So, he's trying to revive the technology ni Nikola Tesla, which was the inventor na hindi sinuportahan ng government before. Mind you na may mga patent si Tesla na ninakaw sa kanya ng US. May mga patent siya like yung meron siyang invention dati na kaya mong mag-charge ng electricity sa hangin, parang ganun. Basta ang dami niyang invention na parang nasayang lang. Tapos parang ninakaw yung idea niya ni Edison. Basta ang dami nangyari. Ganun. Kasi nga si Edison may nag-utos din sa kanya na isa sa 1%. Kasi what if kung successful yung invention ni Nikola Tesla, o siguro modern times sa kasalukuyan hindi na tayo magbabayad ng kuryente kasi free lang yung kuryente 'di ba? O ganun yun. So ayaw nila yun kasi gusto nila sa kanila yung power. Sa kanila tayo nagbabayad ng kuryente. Ganun yun. Gusto nila sa kanila lahat ng resources, ganun. Kaya yung pero in some countries successful yung Maharishi Effect. Like Japan. Tignan mo yung country ng Japan is very small. It's a small country, disciplined yung mga tao, malinis pati yung mga kanal. Na-apply nila yung Maharishi Effect sa environment nila. Ganun yun. Kasi Ang ano lang yan is yung capacity mo, mental capacity mo, i-apply mo siya, singular, sabihin mo, i-share mo siya sa ibang tao para magising yung mga tao, and then all of you will apply the same principle at magkaroon ng Maharishi Effect. Pag nagkaroon ng Maharishi Effect, parang domino na rin yan, parang domino effect na siya. So yun yung nangyari sa Japan. Kaya tingnan mo, discipline country sila, malinis, maganda, nakapag-isip sila ng mga innovation, like meron na silang electric car, meron silang bullet train, meron silang ganito. Kasi na-apply nila yung Maharishi Effect sa environment nila, yun. So sana yung Maharishi Effect ma-apply rin natin dito, no, sa Philippines. Kasi sa Philippines, hindi lang naman ilang milyon ba yung nakatira dito. So kung 100,000 lang yung mga tao na and by the way, kung ang buong ABS-CBN maniwala sila na makakabalik kami ganun, mangyayari yun kasi marami. Pero kaninong followers yung mas marami? Sa kanila ba? Nagkakagulo nga sila lang, di ba? Pinatalsik nga nila si ano bang nangyari doon kay Willie Revillame dati? 'Di ba? Na nagtatrabaho sa kanila. O kung sila lang nagkakagulo sila, paano pa sila magiging united in thought, in thinking, and in belief? So medyo matagal-tagal pa mangyari yun. Si Quiboloy, pag sinabi niyang maniwala kayo, ganito, ganyan, pag sinabi niya sa mga followers niya, pupunta tayo sa ganito, gaganyan, gagawa tayo ng mansion dito sa gilid ng bundok. Mangyayari kasi lahat ng follower niya maniwala sa kanya. O magbenta kayo ng mga doon sa mga bus, magbenta kayo ng mga mga kakanin, mga ballpen o whatever dyan. Mangyayari yan. Susundin siya ng mga follower niya. Kasi yung mga follower niya naniwala sa kanya. It's all about belief. Kaya, yung mga energy ng mga follower ni Quiboloy, yung mga energy kasi lahat ng sa physics, everything is energy. 'Di ba? Totoo 'yun, science 'yun eh. Magsimula tayo sa malaki. States of matter, 4. Solid, liquid, gas, plasma. Matter are composed of molecules. Molecules are composed of atoms. Ito basic to sa elementary, natutunan natin to. Atoms, nucleus, atoms, and then protons, neutrons, nucleus. And then nucleus is energy, di ba? Tapos may mga subatomic particles pa, mga boson, mga whatever, ganyan. So therefore, I conclude that everything is energy. Kasi everything has atoms and molecules, di ba? It's just a matter of how to manipulate those energy. Kailangan you know how to manipulate those energy. Ganun yun. So, yung mga leader, yan, sila Kim Jong-un, alam nila yung mga pinagsasabi ko. Kasi kaya sila naging leader. Yan, sila Duterte. Alam nila, hindi siya na siya, dandahan siyang hindi ko alam ano nangyari sa kanya. Siguro dandahan siyang nagigising or dandahan siyang natutulog. Nasa dalawa lang yun. But to end this video, kasi masyado nang mahaba ang video na to, ang dami ko nang na-explain. Lahat na nang pwede nyo matutunan about dun sa nangyari sa hot topic na yan, na-explain ko na. Okay? Paano natin ma-apply ito sa everyday natin, sa everyday living natin? You start believing in yourself. Number 1, you start believing in yourself. And simulan mo sa maliliit na mga bagay. Like, for example, meron kang gustong bagay na bilihin, ganun. So, parang di ba narinig niyo yung law of attraction, di ba? 12 universal laws. Tapos isa doon yung law of attraction. Tapos may mga sub-laws pa yon. So, always think, always believe, ganyan-ganyan, na you already have it. Parang ganun. Or yung iba naman, ang ginagawa naman nila, vision board. Yung mga gusto nila na bahay, mga material object, mga kotse, mga whatever, ganyan. Kinakat nila sa magazine, tapos pinipaste nilang ganun. Kung saan nakikita nila everyday, ganun. It's for your personal, it's self-empowerment. Parang, sa personal mo yun, it's for your placebo. To activate the placebo effect. Para sa sarili mo lang yun. Tapos pag medyo malakas-lakas ka na, ayan, i-share mo yung knowledge, and then para umunlad din yung ibang tao, para hindi lang ikaw yung tataas yung vibration, yung frequency. So ibang tao rin, para ma-apply nyo sa environment nyo, para later on eventually maging Maharishi Effect siya. Yun. So yun lang. And para mas maging magaan at maganda yung society. So dyan nagtatapos ang video ko. Sa ibang mga video ko, explain ko kung saan dami ko pang gagawing video. Sana hindi ako patayin ulit ng 1% kasi nagawa na nila yung dati. Mind you, reincarnation is real. Hindi lang ako sa ibang video ko na naman explain kung hindi lang isang beses ako namatay, maraming beses ako namatay. Pang ilang life ko na to, pang 3 ko na yata to eh. Basta, sa ibang video ko na yun explain. Yan yung actually yung mission ko. Actually, hindi ko dapat gawin tong video na to, na napilitan lang hindi naman napilitan, parang marami kasing, may mga friend ako na ang tagal mo gumawa ng video na yun, inaabangan namin ganyan. Tapos, parang napipili, hindi naman sa ayaw kong i-share, kaso lang pinoprotektahan ko rin yung sarili ko. And hindi ibig sabihin na shinare ko tong information na to, lahat na shinare ko. Mind you, this is just the tip of the iceberg. Marami pang mas deep na information na hindi ko na pwede i-share. Ang sinishare ko lang is yung pwede nyo lang ma-apply sa inyong hindi ko na pwede share lahat. Okay? So, ang pwede ko lang i-share is yung alam ko na makakatulong. Yun lang yung pwede ko i-share. So, please like, share, and subscribe, and hit that bell notification icon. And see you on the next video. Bye!